Now today, you may have noticed something a bit different. We're down here in the dungeons, the basements of CarpQuest. I said I'd bring you a couple of product reviews this year, so let's get started. Let's talk about bite indicators. For the past 6 months I've been using these, the Delkim EV Plus bite alarms. Absolutely love them, wouldn't give them up for anything. Over the Christmas holidays, my nice wife went out and got me a whole host of accessories for these alarms. So we're going to talk about the alarms, each of the accessories, how they work and how we use them today. Let's quickly go over each one. Starting off, we've got the Delkim Safe D carbon snag bars. We're going to take a look at the Delkim ES indicator set. We've got some D-stack weights. We've got the D-lock quick release system. And finally we've got the smart clips. Each one has a purpose and is used for a good reason. So without further ado, let's get the old coffee going and have a look at these products. CarpQuest. Alright, so here we go. Here's my Delkim EV Plus bite alarm. So what makes Delkim alarms different from everything else out on the market? Well, most importantly is the detection technology and the sensor. And Delkim alarms don't have any moving parts whatsoever in their sensors. Right at the top there, you see there's a very small little white V, and that's actually a ceramic picoelectric sensor, and that sensors both movement and vibration in the line. These alarms are extremely sensitive. Some people complain they're too sensitive, but hey, you've got a sensitivity control there. You can adjust it up and down depending upon the conditions. On the right hand side here, we've got volume control. It goes up from 0 to 6, and it actually sets the decibels from about 0 decibels all the way up to 100 decibels. So these things are pretty loud. On the right hand side here also we've got a tone selector, so you can adjust the tone and what your alarm sounds like, and that can help you differentiate your alarm sound from others on the bank side. There we've got the power button on and off. We've got the Delkim identity badge there that identifies it. You can replace these badges with plenty of kits out on the market if you want to customise your Delkim. And on the front there we've also got the speaker. Okay, let's take a look at the bottom of this alarm. On the right hand side you've got a 3.5mm jack plug. That connects this alarm up to the TXi Pro micro transmitter or the extension box, the external sound box. And there you've got a small 2.5mm jack plug. That lets you hook up the ES Nightlight Pro hanger, the illuminated hanger you can get for these alarms. Now we've got the stainless steel threaded nut, to screw this into your bank stinks. Okay, now let's take a look at the back of the alarm. The back of the alarm's pretty simple. We've basically just got the faceplate, which gives us access to the battery compartment, and it's also where you're going to get access to install some of the other optional Delkim accessories. Let's get a battery put in this one. You want to put your finger on the plate, press down gently, pull it down. That reveals the terminals the battery connect to. And then this takes a 9-volt standard battery and hook it up pretty simply. Now when you first connect up the battery, that's a battery test. This one's obviously pretty good. You can just slide your faceplate back in all the way. Okay, so with the battery plugged in, let's turn it on. You press the power button. You see the really bright LEDs flashing up there at the top, both of them, the run lights. Now they flash when you get a run or a drop back. They also connect up with that ES Nightlight Pro, that will also flash in synchronous timing with these lights on the alarm. You can then turn the alarm off, another press of the button, makes a single buzz and the alarm is turned off. And that is the Delkim EV Plus alarm. Right then, car fans, here's my Delkim EV Plus set up at the bank side, this thing down at Pueblo. Let's see it in operation. So, at the moment this one's set to volume 1, tone 3 and sensitivity 4. It's about average sensitivity, pretty quiet on the volume, and it's got a high pitch beat for the tone. So we pull on the line. So it's pretty sensitive, doesn't take much of a movement to make it go off. We change the tone. changes the sound. Let's put it back to 3. And then if we turn the sensitivity up, let's say to maximum, which is 6, you know, you really aren't going to be fiddling with it on sensitivity 6 that often, unless you really want to be able to pick up the most sensitive of line movements or line bites, you know. But you can see with it on 6, if you just even just touch the line, it's sounding the alarm. Doesn't even take a movement at all. And literally it's vibration. Turn it down all the way. It will just set on 0. So really it takes a lot of movement to make it even go off. It's about 4 or 5 inches of line movement. Turn it back up. It's about 2 inches. Well, maybe 1.5 inches. So as you can see, these things are pretty sensitive, but you can adjust the sensitivity down.